I like this table.
Yeah, oh my God. It's gonna be a great table.
That's right. How's it going?
Hi.
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good.
Doing great, thank you.
So I guess we'll start with the first question. Second season, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Excited.
How did this all start for you? How did you guys get to your positions?
So we were sent the books by our producers, Karen Kahila Sherwood and Jamie Tarsis. They had found the book. And we immediately just fell in love with it. And it's interesting because it's very unlike a lot of the stuff we've done recently, but it really had so much to do with like the us that we were like, we want to do something that has this sort of sense of goodwill and just delight on the surface of it.
And something to say.
And so we were very, just fell in love with it, went on a very long journey to get this made. We found James Bobin, who directed the pilot and the first episode of the second season. He's a friend of ours, and again, a person who just the vibe was right. And several years later of hard work, we ended up here with the second season of the show. So.
Any big influences on obviously the casting in this room? You had any influence on who got casted for that role, or?
You mean from us?
Yeah, I know you guys casting directors, but like.
So basically, how it works is like, so we're the creators and EPs. Darren and Todd, who you've either talked to or will talk to, are showrunner EPs. So we brought those guys in, and the four of us became like a hive mind. And so in the end, it's like it falls to us to decide to make the final decisions on cast. On the look, on the cuts, on everything, and so it's really great for writers in TV. We're used to doing features where it's the director, obviously, who's that final word. So it's been really amazing for us to get to experience what it is to have that final say, and to really be able to craft it toward, the experience that we're hoping to put out there.
Jumping on that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just, working in the world, and you say it was brought to you as a series. I'm sure it probably wasn't the first thing that was brought to you, or maybe it was, and you guys fell in love with it. When you went with Disney and everything, were they open to multiple seasons? Or what was your game plan going in with that?
Well, when we originally sold it to Hulu.
Okay.
And then it was moved to Disney Plus. But all the conversations we had as we were pitching the show were that there was a series. The book. It's a number of books, and the characters we feel are so strong that they warrant. We can go on a lot of journeys with them, even past the books if we were so lucky. It feels like there was a rich kind of vein of stuff to mine.
And also, we always looked ahead because, in books, the kids can kind of stay the same age perpetually, or age only as quickly as you want them to. Here, we have these real life amazing actors who are growing up in front of us, and so we always made that commitment to we're not going to try to write them back into a younger age. We're going to let the show grow up with them, and if we're so lucky to have more seasons, that's what we're going to continue. And just generally, that Disney Plus has been incredibly supportive of the show as a whole, and also of that idea that we're going on this journey together with all these kids, and that we're going to really honor who they are. And it's such a part of the fabric of the show.
That's a question. You talk. I did some research real quick, and it was talk about empathy being a superpower.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to. I haven't got to watch it, but I want to ask you, in terms of superpower movies, is that playing out the same way, even though it's an innate? Is it? You know what I'm saying? Is it being shown, even though it's natural? Is it being still shown as a power in the same way it would in other superhero canon?
Well, not in terms of
not a manifested physical
no one's
power.
but I think it's it's they accomplish what they accomplish only through the power, only through their intelligence and their empathy and their ability to kind of incorporate each other's ideas and points of view. It really is they would fail otherwise. And the idea of how they succeed is important, as important as that they succeed. They're not. Totally. It's not trampling people to get what you want. It's finding victory in kind of an honorable way.
In an ethical, honorable way.
It's a story of kindness, which I think is really strong. and obviously always needed, if not every, more and more.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what appealed to us when we read the books. Like that was the thing.
Well, they really care, and that's what gives them their power. That's what makes them vulnerable, and that's what makes them powerful as well.
Now, when you guys were originally pitching this, it was based on the books from 2008, 2009, and 2012, right?
Yes.
What was it like knowing that this new book came out in 2019? How is that going to be incorporated in the show down the line?
I think that our plan is that we always looked at it as the books move on, we knew that the show would be evolving in its own world and the books would be evolving in there, but the idea would be that we're gonna, as I said, like kind of harvest the stuff that is really the soul of each of the books and really the soul of the world Trenton created to infuse it into our world. So I think we don't know yet, but as it goes along, the idea is that there will definitely be an attachment to each of the books, but that it may vary depending on the seasons, the closeness of the literalness of that attachment. Sometimes it might be pretty literal in terms of the story, and sometimes it might be more kind of spiritual.
And it's always with a nod to, like, we know how beloved the books are, and we respect that, and we always want to kind of honor it and have touchstones from those, the things. If we find a place for the things that we know people love.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on that, whenever you're adapting a book into a TV show or a movie, there's always that added pressure because of the loyal fan base that don't want anything changed, but at the same time you should do a page-by-page translation. It will never work.
Right.
So how much was it up to you to find that balance and not alienate the fan base but get new fans as well? Or how much did you just let's let Todd and Darren do it?
We basically had to decide really early that we were gonna have to tell the story the way it needed to be told for television, and to take that freedom of saying, like, look, we have to figure out how to the first season, I would say, is very recognizably the story of the first book, and the second season, there's a lot recognizable of the story, but there's more different because we're building off of what happened in the first season. So, but to answer the question, it was really like we really knew that there was no other way to do it. That we couldn't just, let's just take the book and just put it on screen. Like, it just doesn't work. And so that was the journey for us, is to just make that happen.
Yeah, and on both a creative and practical level, the weight of certain characters and the pairings of certain characters in the books doesn't always match up with being able to use our entire cast as much as we want to. So we're always it's include finding a story like book one, kind of once they reach the island, you really focus on the kids, and you should. But we want, we created a kind of a parallel storyline to keep the other adults involved, and we're always looking for different ways to kind of bounce the characters off each other, find new pairings, like who.
And from the very beginning, we knew that. Like, we were saying about the adults, that, like, when we wrote the pilot, we had already planned out much of the first season, and knowing that it was critical that we have Number Two and Benedict and all those guys have their own journey.
I mean, a quick question. Was there any influence in terms of Jim Henson and the Muppets in this kind of, there's a bit of a feel of understanding of Jim Henson in this, and
that's a really
interesting talking about.
Well, we're big fans,
it's very in the same world, and I was just curious if that was an influence, or.
Well, some of the stuff that we love and that has crept into the show in a way is it's things that kids. To me, the stuff that the kids I know love is not, quote, kids stuff, and I put the Muppets in that category where it's like, obviously the Muppets are for kids, but the sophistication of the humor still plays today. I was watching some clips of the Muppet Show recently. It's like
more the kindness and how those characters.
And it's
that
true.
To me is in there really seriously.
And also there's some absurdism to the Muppets at times, which we definitely embrace.
How you? So you guys are pretty much filming on a time limit. You got kids on set. How are you guys getting around kind of like the age of the kids just growing up on camera, and obviously like with them getting bigger as you film?
We're embracing it. Because we have to. But also it became at the very beginning we were like, we got to film this one fast. Get the second one going because But then we realized like we should just like it actually gives it more depth to write to their ages. Like the idea that these kids are like growing up as they're going on these adventures.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard enough growing up, but you know, so like the ability to kind of, it just gives us more material actually, and it wasn't a difficult thing.
There's something essential about these actors where they are. It's easy and fun for us to write to and with them because they have. Part of the reason that we cast them is their souls are so good and so apparent that they're just great people, and so like it's just a joy to get in there and like see who they are and how that reflects to their character.
Our joke was that at the beginning of the season, everyone's first line was going to be, "You've grown."
With that, we're gonna move on.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys.
Get a quick photo of you guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm good.
Thank you. Oh, one more. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. You got it.
I got it.